7 spine-chilling, haunting stories exposed. Discover the terrifying truths of nighttime alone. Emma sat on her bed, scrolling through her phone, the glow illuminating her worried face. Oakwood Grove, with its manicured lawns and friendly waves from neighbors, seemed perfect, but Emma felt the creeping shadows lurking just beneath its pristine surface. Every summer night brought whispers that floated on the warm breeze, stories of loss that wrapped around her like a chilling fog. Tonight, as she listened to the crickets chirping outside her window, her heart raced. Something felt off. That it was supposed to be just another hangout. But as the sun dipped behind the horizon, her friends began experiencing strange visions. Laughter turned to silence as each shared a glimpse of dark figures dancing just beyond the trees, their elongated shadows merging into ghostly shapes that triggered a primal fear. Emma looked at Jamie, whose eyes mirrored her frozen terror, breath trembling. Did you see that? It was a question nobody wanted to answer, and yet they all felt at the pull of something sinister waiting in the dark. The oppressive weight settled into Emma's chest as she thought of her family, the stories of an ancestral curse tied to a spirit that haunted their home, the kind of tales that kept her up at night, connected through generations of whispered fears. With each chime of the clock, the past echoed louder. She turned to her military veteran father, a man who had faced the worst of battles. "We need to find out what this is," she pleaded, determination flushing through her veins. "Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system, and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The following weekend, their research unearthed the tangled history of Oakwood Grove. Each tale, once ignored, told of injustices and forgotten tragedies, the kind that stirred the spirit lurking in their midst. Emma realized the entity wasn't just a ghost. It was the embodiment of the community's fears, whispering grievances that had festered too long. Rumors swept through the neighborhood like wildfire. Old friends became suspicious neighbors. Emma sensed the fear, suffocating, as the atmosphere thickened around her. Strange occurrences spiraled out of control. Doors creaked open without cause. Lights flickered unnaturally, as if the very walls were alive, breathing the collective anxiety of a community on the brink. Emma's heart raced. Could she reveal the truth, expose the shared history that bound them all? Or should she keep it buried to maintain a fragile peace? In the dim light of her room, shadows flickered like the ghostly figures from her friends' visions. The next confrontation loomed nearer, and with each passing day, Oakwood Grove threatened to fracture apart under the weight of its dark realities. As the night deepened, Emma knew she stood on the threshold of a showdown that would demand courage from everyone. So she clenched her father's hand tightly, whispering through quivering lips, "Are we ready for this?" The question hung in the air, and as an eerie silence enveloped them, the shadows stretched longer, taunting them with the secrets they were about to face. The night wore on, each passing hour thick with tension. Emma's grip on her father's hand tightened. The weight of their decision felt heavier than the silence that wrapped around them. They needed answers, but at what cost? As she stared into the dark, her mind raced with thoughts of the cursed stories she'd uncovered. Every flicker from the street lamp outside seemed to signal an approaching doom. The silhouettes they had seen earlier bubbled to her mind, taunting her. What if these apparitions were more than mere shadows? "Let's gather the others," Emma finally said, breaking the stillness. Her voice was steady, yet the fear lodged deep in her chest clawed at her resolve. They needed to confront whatever was haunting them. Anything was better than hiding in the shadows. Her father's face was a mask of concern as he nodded, uncertainty etched in the lines of his furrowed brow. They slipped out of her room, stepping lightly down the hallway, careful not to disturb the silence. As they approached Jamie's house, the neighborhood felt unnaturally still. Not a whisper echoed from the neighboring homes, just a looming awareness that sent chills racing down Emma's spine. At Jamie's front porch, they found Alex and Sarah already gathered, eyes wide with fear. The faint glow from Jamie's phone illuminated their faces, casting long shadows that danced against the walls. Did you see it? Jamie asked hurriedly, glancing over her shoulder as if expecting a dark figure to step into the light. I saw it again, lurking by the trees. It felt alive. Emma exchanged glances with her friends, panic rising like bile in her throat. We need to talk about what is happening, she urged, her heart pounding against her ribs. These shadows aren't just figments of our imagination, they're connected to us, to this place. Alex stiffened, fear flickering in his dark eyes. Are we sure we want to dig deeper into this? What if we stir something that shouldn't be disturbed? His voice was shaky, but the weight of his concern resonated with everyone. But it was Sarah whose expression shifted, a spark of determination igniting in her gaze. We can't back down, not now. If we're to face this entity, we must understand it. We owe it to ourselves, to our families. The echoes of past mistakes loomed large in their minds, casting a long shadow over their resolve. With a collective shuddering breath, they decided to investigate the historic remnants deep in the woods beyond the neighborhood. As they wandered into the dense thicket, every crunch of twigs underfoot felt akin to the crack of glass from shattered nerves. The trees loomed like sentinels, their branches twisting, fingers reaching out to touch them. Suddenly, a faint whisper drifted through the leaves, chilling the air. Emma's heart stopped. Did you hear that? She whispered, looking at her friends' terrified faces. The whisper rippled again, a discordant melody of sorrow and anguish. It felt personal, as if the very ground beneath their feet was trying to communicate. They huddled closer together, adrenaline surging through their veins as Emma called out into the murky darkness, "Show yourself." Her voice echoed against the night, and for a brief moment, the world went still. A figure began to manifest, coalescing from the shadows of the trees, a tall, ethereal shape that flickered in and out of their vision. Heart racing, Emma took a step forward, wanting to understand, yet fearing what lay ahead. Just then, a blinding light burst through the trees, illuminating their surroundings, and with it came a terrifying revelation. The shadow shifted, revealing a face so familiar it made Emma's blood run cold. It was someone she had lost, someone who had once lived within Oakwood Grove. "Emma," the apparition whispered softly, echoing her name with a haunting familiarity. Fingers trembling, Emma felt the weight of their shared history crush her. Each second seemed to pulse with dread. What if the truth behind the haunting was closer than she thought? The entity's eyes glimmered, drawing them in as whispers escalated. Would she uncover the truth or descend into madness alongside her friends? The moment pushed closer, and with it, the shadows grew heavier. As the light faded, an unexpected realization hit her. What this spirit craved was more than just revelation. It held a deep-rooted need for justice. But what would be the price for understanding? The air thickened with an uncanny tension as they stood frozen, hearts entwined in fear. As the specter took shape amidst the straining walls of their reality, Emma's pulse quickened as she feared the coming revelation. Would they uncover the tragic story behind it all, or will they be the next victims of Oakwood Grove's dreadful legacy? The figure before them shifted, its features sharpening into a haunting reflection of Emma's past. Her breath hitched, memories flooding in like a breaking dam. "Is it, Mom?" The word escaped her lips before she could catch it, trembling with disbelief. The air grew heavy, charged with emotion that tasted like metal on her tongue. "Emma." The voice, soft but edged with sorrow, wrapped around her heart. It was a sound she hadn't heard in years, but recognized instantly. The spirit's eyes bore into hers, pleading as they shimmered with unshed tears. Jamie stepped back, her own fear palpable. "What? How is this possible?" she stuttered, paralyzed with dread and confusion that Emma's mind whirled. Torn between wanting to run, scream, do anything to escape this moment, and the undeniable pull of connection, the yearning for understanding. You promised you'd come back," Emma whispered, a mix of despair and longing lacing her words. The spirit stretched out a translucent hand, its fingers entwining through the air, shimmering like smoke. "You need to listen. It's not safe for you." Alex's anxiety ratcheted higher as he exchanged anxious looks with the others. "Are you sure this is real? It could be a trap," he urged, voice trembling. But before anyone could react, the specter twitched, urgency in its features. Emma stepped forward, caught in the conflict between fear and fierce resolve. "What do you want from us?" Why are you here? Her voice echoed in the stillness, drowning out the whispers that still swirled around them. The apparition's gaze darkened, and it shook its head sadly. The trees, they hold secrets. Pain lingers here. You must face it, but be careful. A shiver raced through Emma, settling deep in her bones. What secrets? She pressed, desperate for clarity while her heart pounded, urging her to turn and flee. Just as the ethereal figure hesitated, the word laden with unspoken histories. I was wronged, and so were others. You're connected to this, Emma. You must find the truth to set us all free. Her friends shifted nervously, glancing around, as if waiting for the ground to give way beneath them. Emma felt a knot form in her stomach. This dark legacy was a web woven through her life, her family's tragedy. Her childhood nightmares now echoed back to her in ghostly form. As the silhouette began to flicker, merging into the darkness that surrounded them, a cold gust whipped through the trees, almost as if the night itself were exhaling. Wait, Emma shouted, her voice cracking. How do we find the truth? But before another word could escape, the figure vanished entirely, leaving behind an echo of her mother's anguished whisper, trust in each other. In the sudden silence, the woods felt darker, the air thick with unanswered questions. The shadows pressed in closer, and Emma's heart raced, uncertainty flooding her mind. What just happened? Jamie whispered, eyes wide with shock. We have to find out. We're in this together, Emma insisted, an unexpected resolve kindling within her. Deep within, a sense of purpose began to bloom, a mission to uncover the truth that had been buried. Yet uncertainty clawed at her. What else was hidden in the darkness? Were they prepared for the answers to come? The ground felt unsteady beneath them, a sense that every step forward might lead to something catastrophic. As they gathered their resolve, a noise crept through the silence, distant yet familiar, a low, haunting chant that whispered their names. Fear coiled tightly in Emma's stomach, but determination surged through her veins. She turned to her friends, adrenaline rushing. Let us find out what really happened in Oakwood Grove. And as they ventured deeper into the shadows, the feeling of eyes watching intensified, hungry and waiting, ready to reveal secrets that could shatter their world completely. What awaited them in the dark depths of the woods? Would they unlock the past, or would they open a door best left shut? The chant wove through the air like a ghostly thread, a sinister melody that sent chills racing down Emma's spine. It was rhythmic and low, each repetition echoing their names, a twisted lullaby beckoning them further into Oakwood Grove. She could see her friends' faces flicker between apprehension and determination, a shared understanding that this was a moment they could not turn back from. Can you hear that? Jamie asked, her voice barely above a whisper, wide eyes scanning the encroaching darkness. Yeah, Alex replied, swallowing hard, and it's getting louder. Emma felt as if the trees themselves were alive, groaning under the weight of secrets long held captive. A mist began to uncoil around their feet, curling around their ankles like a warning. The deeper into the woods they went, the thicker the air became, charged with tension, anticipation, and an undercurrent of dread that hung heavy. Stay close, Emma commanded, her voice stronger than she felt. Each step forward felt like walking through a dream where peril lurked just beyond sight. She led the group, a mix of curiosity and fear pounding in her chest. If we're going to face whatever is out there, we have to do it together. The chant rose in intensity, a chilling cacophony that twisted around shapes in the shadows. Emma could feel the heat radiating from her friends, their collective fear intertwining with her own, creating a bond she never knew they shared. But with each echo of her name, doubt crept in. Were they riskers of the past, or simply prey? Here, Emma said suddenly, her fingers brushing against a weathered oak, roots sprawling like hands clutching at the earth. The tree seemed ancient, as if it had witnessed the very atrocities of which the apparition spoke. This has to mean something. Before anyone could respond, a fresh whisper cut through the air, clear and unmistakable. Emma, it was her mother's voice again, almost desperate, laced with urgency. Find the heart of the grove, heart of the grove. Jamie felt the weight of the words. What does that even mean? Maybe it's a place, Alex theorized, scanning the dim surroundings. Or something hidden. Emma clenched her jaw, wrestling with the remnants of fear that threatened to paralyze her. Whatever it is, we need to keep moving, she insisted, her voice steady. pushing fear down deep. We can't let whatever this is control us. As they proceeded deeper, the chant morphed, shifting into something unrecognizable, a mix of laughter and cries, mocking them, revealing the buried emotions spilling from the earth. Shadows elongated, distorting their surroundings, an endless parade of black figures flitting between trees. "Did you see that?" Jamie stammered, pointing towards a flash of movement. There, just at the edge of the clearing, they caught a glimpse of a dark figure flickering in and out like a broken lantern, but unmistakably human. Emma's pulse quickened. "We need to confront whatever that is. It could lead us to the truth," she urged, conflict swirling in her chest. As they approached, the figure came fully into view, and Emma's stomach dropped. It was a silhouette of a woman with familiar features, eyes filled with a mixture of anger and sorrow that mirrored her own. Memories bubbled to the surface, a past she thought she'd buried. "Mom," she breathed, a mix of hope and terror clawing at her heart. But just as quickly, the figure melted into the shadows, laughter echoing around them, cruel laughter that filled the grove. "What the hell was that?" Alex shouted, panic lacing his voice. "Did we just—" Jamie's voice faltered, tears glistening in her eyes as they felt the woods pressing in on them. "What do we do now?" Emma felt the weight of every gaze on her, the pressure mounting. They were standing on the precipice of something monumental, the convergence of the living and the dead. She braced herself, every instinct screaming to turn and run. But she could almost hear her mother's warning echoing. You have to find the heart in that moment. Nothing else mattered. They had to push forward, no matter the cost. But as darkness engulfed them, a rustling caught Emma's attention, drawing her eyes to something glistening on the forest floor, a glimmer like a promise, or perhaps a lie. What could it mean? And as they gathered together, hearts racing, the air shimmered with unshed tears, every whisper and glance heavy with meaning. Was this a hope or another trap? The ground trembled beneath them, unsettling the very foundation of their quest. Would they uncover the secrets hidden in Oakwood Grove, or would they become lost forever in its treacherous embrace? The glimmering object pulsed faintly, drawing Emma's gaze downwards as her heart raced. It flickered, a shard of something extraordinary nestled among the leaves and twigs. Was it a trick of the light? Or was it something real, something connected to the heart of the grove? "Emma, wait!" Jamie cried, reaching out as Emma leaned closer. The mist thickened, swirling around their legs like tendrils trying to pull them down. "Just a second," Emma whispered back, her fingers brushing against the cool, metallic surface. It felt alive. She instinctively pulled it closer, revealing a small charm crafted in the shape of a heart, intricately detailed, yet weathered by time. "What is that?" Alex asked, his curiosity bubbling over into urgency. "It's a charm," Emma murmured, turning it over in her palm. The chant echoed again, weaving higher up through the trees as if reacting to the treasure in her hand. The sound became more insistent, more frantic, as though the forest itself could sense her discovery. As if a switch had been flipped, the atmosphere rippled with tension. The trees creaked ominously, their branches stretching like skeletal fingers toward the sky. I think it's the heart of the grove," Emma stammered, feeling the weight of ancient power in her palm. "What do we do with it?" Jamie asked, her voice trembling. "Maybe it can lead us to the truth." A flicker of hope ignited in Alex's eyes. "We need to follow the sound." Emma nodded, stuffing the charm into her pocket. "Let us move." As they pushed forward, the earth seemed to vibrate underfoot, vibrating with dark energy. The chanting morphed again, this time melding into a sorrowful wailing that pierced through the trees. Suddenly, a dark figure appeared again, this time much closer, looming beneath the twisted branches. Emma's heart sank as she recognized the familiar outline, the same woman, her features now sharper, more defined. "Mom!" she cried out again, but her voice echoed back, swallowed by the terrible noise of the grove. "You shouldn't have come," the figure warned, voice low and haunting. "You must leave now." "Why are you doing this?" Emma shouted, defiantly standing her ground despite the rising panic in her chest. "What do you want from us?" The apparition merely shook her head, sorrow etched deeply into her expression. "The heart. It binds the darkness. It was meant to be hidden, to protect you," she replied, her voice a distant whisper now. "What darkness?" Alex yelled, growing frustrated. "What are you trying to protect us from?" As if on cue, the laugh echoed through the night, a spine-chilling sound that sent a wave of dread crashing over them. The realization dawned on Emma this was the malevolent force they had felt since entering the grove. This moment wasn't just about them. It was about saving the connection to this haunted place, and perhaps liberating her mother from its grasp. "Help us," she cried, desperation spilling over. "Guide us to where we need to go." The figure flickered again, her eyes blazing with a mix of defiance and fear. "You must face the Hardest Keeper. He is near," she warned before dissolving once more into shadows. "Mom." Emma gasped, her heart pounding. With no time to waste, they pressed on, the weight of their task sinking deep. The forest felt heavier now, laden with spiteful whispers, breaths of an unseen watcher tracking their moves. Emma clenched her fists, determined to uncover the truth. But as they entered a small clearing, the very temperature seemed to drop, frost creeping around them, shifting the atmosphere. "Guys, we aren't alone," Jamie whispered, her breath hitching in her throat. Ahead loomed a massive, twisted oak. Its gnarled branches seemed to writhe, alive in the faint glow suffusing around the heart charm. Something powerful was thrumming within it, calling out, illuminating every dark corner of the grove. Yet behind that darkness, a silhouette lurked, watching with an intensity that made Emma's skin crawl. "Who are you?" she shouted, fighting to sound brave against the cold creeping into her bones. The figure stepped forward, revealing a face more grotesque and terrifying than she had imagined. "I am the Hardest Keeper," he declared, voice as chilling as the winter air. "In the grove, your decisions decide your fates. Are you ready for the truth?" Suddenly, the ground shook, the forest coming alive with anger, branches snapping, roots writhing. Emma steeled herself. We have to know." But as the keeper smiled, eyes glinting with malice, the reality hit. They were not alone, and the truth would come at a price they could never anticipate. "Will you pay the toll?" he asked, raising a gnarled hand to reveal a dark porthole swirling with secrets, drawing them closer with every heartbeat. Would they pay? As uncertainty entwined with dread, Emma's breath caught, and then everything erupted into chaos. The chaos exploded around them, a whirlwind of sound and energy that sent Emma stumbling back. Jamie grabbed her arm, her nails digging in, eyes wide with terror. "What do we do?" she screamed over the cacophony that erupted in the grove. Before Emma could answer, the Heart's Keeper unleashed a deafening roar, and the earth quaked beneath their feet. The twisted branches of the ancient oak seemed poised to crush them. The trees were alive with anger, like the forest itself was rebelling, angry at their intrusion. Dark shadows spiraled wildly, merging with the thick mist and wrapping around them as if to contain the trio. "Focus," Emma shouted, her heart racing as she fought to steady her breath. "We have to remember what we came for." She pulled the charm from her pocket, feeling its weight pulsing against her palm. The heartbeat of the grove resonated with her pulse, urging her forward. "This has to mean something. It's the key." "Key? We're in a nightmare," Alex snapped, his voice dripping with panic. "That guy looks like he wants to eat us." The Heart's Keeper took a step closer, a sinister smile stretching across his grotesque features. "Ah, the charm so precious, yet so misunderstood. You cannot simply hold it and hope for truth. It demands a sacrifice." His voice slithered through the air, malicious and taunting. What kind of sacrifice? Emma felt a chill run down her spine. Was it a price they were truly willing to pay? As she searched the Keeper's face for answers, the chanting from the forest flared, growing louder, feeding into the energies swirling around them. Your fears, your memories, or your very bond with each other. Choose wisely, he hissed, his eyes brightening with twisted anticipation. What kind of sick game is this? Jamie cried, her voice shaking. Emma felt something inside her waver. She couldn't let fear dictate. Not now. We can't let this place win. We came here to find the truth. We have to stand together. It's not that easy, Alex shouted, panic rising. What if we can't? What if it tears us apart? The words hung between them, and in that moment, dread gripped Emma. The bond they shared was fragile. Could she sacrifice everything to save them? Or worse, could the grove take somewhere she wasn't prepared to offer? Suddenly, the trees shuddered, branches cracking violently as a roar echoed, and gnarled roots began rising from the ground around them like serpents. They were alive, and they were hungry. Make your choice, the keeper urged, eyes glinting, or be swallowed by the darkness. Emma's heart thundered as they were trapped in a swirl of energy and shadows, the air thick with despair. Her friends' eyes mirrored her fear, and she felt the bonds of friendship strained as their fates hung in the balance. Frantically, her mind raced. She had to protect them, but at what cost? Tell us what you want, she cried, her voice filled with desperation. Only the truth can save you, he said, voice like gravel. And truth is a heavy price to pay. The ground trembled violently, the heartbeat of the grove quickening, shadows creeping closer, ready to engulf them. Emma steeled herself, determination igniting within. We'll pay it, she shouted, filled with newfound courage. Whatever it takes. The keeper's laughter was hollow. So be it. Brace yourselves. In the blink of an eye, the world around them shattered like glass, the clearing spiraling into a kaleidoscope of darkness. And in that pitch blackness, Emma felt her heart race as she was thrown into a torrent of memories bright, haunting, and real tumbling one after the other. She could feel the others faltering, their grip on reality slipping as they confronted their inner shadows. What lay on the other side of this truth? Would they discover what connected them to the grove? As visions twisted around her, Emma gasped. One memory stood out, a flicker of light cutting through the dark, a soft whisper urging her to follow Emma. Jamie's voice called, drawing her back. Don't lose yourself. But it was too late. The choices began unraveling, pooling into a reality she couldn't escape. What awaited them when the memories ceased? What secrets of the grove would demand to be faced? And as the darkness wrapped around them, Emma could only wonder, could they return intact, or would the price be their very souls? The truth was coming, but would they recognize what it truly meant? Time seemed to stretch in the darkness, each passing second becoming an eternity. Emma's heart pounded in her chest, a relentless drumbeat fueling her fear. The flickering memories twisted and flashed before her eyes, laughter around a campfire, a birthday party with Jamie, a quiet moment shared with Alex under the stars. But with each memory, a shadow flickered at the edges, threatening to engulf them all. Emma. Jamie's voice cut through the haze like a light piercing through fog. We have to find each other. Stay close. But the darkness was alive, a swirling mass that toyed with their minds, splitting them apart. As Emma strained to hold on to Jamie's voice, she felt herself slipping, pulled under by the weight of her own memories, regrets, fears, moments of vulnerability. They cascaded through her mind, each one clawing at her sense of self. Suddenly, the landscape shifted around her. Shadows morphed into menacing figures, dripping with the weight of unspoken truths. Emma stumbled back, panic swelling in her throat. No, this isn't real, she shouted, but the shadows echoed her fears with a sinister laugh. Isn't it? A voice slithered through the air as the Heart's Keeper emerged before her, his grotesque smile flickering like a candle in the wind. These are the truths you hide. This is who you really are. The world around Emma warped further, and she saw Jamie standing alone, memories unfolding around her like wilted petals. She was trapped in a vision of betrayal, crying over a friendship fractured by secrets. Emma's breath hitched. Had she ever truly been honest? Jamie, focus. You have to fight it, Emma screamed, but her voice felt small against the tide of despair. To her left, Alex was surrounded by a storm of his own regrets, choices he had made, paths he had taken that haunted him like an unshakable ghost. A whisper curled through the air. You chose this path. You condemned us all. Panic gripped Emma. Alex, don't listen. It's a trick. Remember who you are? She fought to close the distance, reaching for him, but the shadows wrapped tighter around him, pulling him under. Emma, he murmured, fear lacing his voice. What if we're not strong enough? What if these truths tear us apart? No. Her voice was a wild cry, tinged with desperation. We're stronger together. Remember our bond. The ground beneath them shifted violently, echoing their internal turmoil. With a primal scream, the Heart's Keeper encroached, faces of their past swirling in grotesque forms, taunting them. Do you think friendship can withstand such weight? It will break. Sacrifice is the only escape. Emma clenched the charm, its pulse thrumming against her skin, a reminder of what they stood to lose. We won't let you win. The truth may be painful, but it won't destroy us. The shadows shivered at her defiance, but the keeper's laughter boomed over the chaos. Then face the truth. Only then will you find your way out. A light flickered behind them, the soft glow gaining strength like a beacon. Emma's breath quickened as she saw Jamie's face regain clarity, her eyes reflecting resilience through her fear. "Emma, we can do this. Together," Jamie shouted, a light flaring in her heart. Emma felt the strength of their bond surge through the darkness, illuminating the grotesque forms swirling around them. This was their fight, their truth to confront not just the shadows, but all the moments that had shaped them. As the light spread from each of them, the shadows recoiled, shrieking as the memories shifted from haunting to healing. They were faced with their truths, stronger together, ready to confront whatever lay ahead. But just as the shadows began to dissipate, a new figure emerged from the light, a woman cloaked in silver, her eyes glinting with a knowing sparkle. "The keeper has fed on your fears," she intuited, voice both soothing and foreboding. "But the truth is more complex than mere sacrifice. What deeper secrets would this figure reveal? And could they truly escape the darkness once and for all, or would it consume them entirely?" The specter of fate loomed ahead, and Emma's throat tightened. What lay beyond the truth they thought they knew? Emma's heart raced, a mix of dread and intrigue swelling inside her. The woman in silver radiated both comfort and tension, a paradox that tightened the air around them. They had just begun to break free from the shadows, yet here was another layer of mystery, another truth waiting to consume them. "Who are you?" Jamie stepped forward, her voice shaking but steady. "What do you know about us?" The woman's smile was enigmatic, a glimmer of understanding tucked beneath her ethereal demeanor. "I am a guide for those lost in their own darkness. But the journey ahead is not one of mere truths. It's about understanding the balance of light and shadow within yourselves." "Balance?" Alex echoed, skepticism slicing through his fear. "What does that even mean? Are you here to help us or just mock us?" "Neither," she replied, her voice soft yet firm. "Life is a tapestry woven from both light and dark. Your anxieties, your regrets, they shape you. Accept them, and you will gain the strength to move forward." Beneath the weight of her words, the shadows stirred, writhing as if they were alive, hungry for doubt and uncertainty. Emma felt the pulse of the charm in her hand intensify, a reminder of their shared strength. "We faced our fears. We started to find the light." The woman in silver stepped closer, her eyes shimmering like starlit skies. "You have, but what you face now is the shadow of choice. The choices that could drive you apart, the sacrifice you may need to make." Emma's stomach churned. Sacrifice? The word hung heavy in the air. She thought of Jamie and Alex, memories flooding her mind, each moment of laughter, support, and love. Could they really be forced apart? What kind of sacrifice? She demanded, fists clenching. "We're not giving in to despair." The keeper's voice echoed sinisterly from the depths of the darkening landscape. "We all have to choose what we value most. Sometimes, it's the ones we cherish that become the very things we have to risk." Jamie took a shaky breath, her brow furrowed. "No, we have each other. That's enough." "Is it?" The keeper countered, his grotesque figure swirling back into the forefront of their fears. "Tell us, Emma, would you sacrifice your own happiness for the sake of the harmony you desire? Or will you protect your own heart at the cost of others?" Emma's mind raced, thoughts colliding like stormy waves. She glanced at her friends. The determination in their eyes reflected her own whirlwind of emotions. Silent affinities and unspoken words lingered between them. "Look within your hearts," the woman in silver urged, guiding their gazes inward. "The truth lies not only in the fear of the darkness, but in the acceptance of its necessity. What must be released for the vision of who you wish to become? That is your next step." As the words settled, the shadows began to dissipate, revealing fractured memories that glinted like broken glass. Each shard represented an emotion: fear, joy, anger, love. And hidden within the shards were the choices unmade, paths unexplored. Emma's breath quickened as a shimmering light began to form in their midst, illuminating the fragmented memories swirling around them. We touched the darkness, but maybe, just maybe, the answers lie in the choices we avoided. The keeper's laughter layered over their emerging hope, chilling them to the bone. To face this truth, you must be prepared. Because the closer you get to the light, the darker the shadows become. A shiver ran down Emma's spine, awareness dawning of what was at stake. They could either embrace the painful truths lurking in the corners of their hearts or risk everything they held dear. Are you ready for the cost of truly knowing? The silver-cloaked figure whispered. Once you cross this threshold, there's no turning back. With her heart pounding wildly, Emma stepped forward, resolved. We have to take the risk. Together. As they linked hands, the ground trembled beneath them. What awaited them on the other side of that fragile threshold? What sacrifices loomed ahead as they ventured toward the heart of their fears? A sudden darkness surged, and the ground split. The shadows roared in defiance. From the abyss, a haunting figure emerged, one that would challenge everything they thought they knew. Emma's breath hitched, the question burning in her mind. Could they truly conquer their shadows, or would their quest for truth lead them to an inescapable fate? Emma's heart pounded as the figure loomed closer, a silhouette stitched from the fabric of nightmares. It emerged from the gaping chasm, an ink-black shadow woven with whispers. She couldn't make out the face, but the presence felt suffocating, as if it were sucking the light from the air. Do you seek the truth? The figure rasped, each word slicing through the tense air. Or are you simply daring the darkness to consume you? Jamie gasped, her grip on Emma's hand tightening. What do you want from us? We crave your fears, the figure hissed, reveling in the tremors that stirred in each of them. Each secret, each doubt, strips away your defenses. Give us your darkness, and we will show you the cost of your choices. Alex stepped back, shaking his head, his eyes wide with panic. No, we're not giving you anything. Then be prepared for what you'll face, the figure warned, its voice edged with mocking delight. It flickered like a flame barely holding on, and in an instant, the ground beneath them trembled violently. The air shifted, and the fractured memories began to swirl around them, each piece sparking with emotion. Emma caught glimpses of the deep-rooted insecurities that had haunted her, moments of shame and fear she had buried. Each fragment glowed with an extraordinary light, but it was the darkness weaving its tendrils through that made her skin crawl. What is this? She shouted, trying to push through the noise. We can't be responsible for the shadows we carry. Every shadow has its price, the figure sneered. You want light? You'll have to pay deeply. The woman in silver interjected, her presence a stark contrast to the creeping menace. To grow, you must accept your fears. Release what binds you, and the light will guide you. Embrace the darkness, it is part of you. Jamie cried, what if we don't want to? What if the cost is too high? Higher than you think, the figure cackled, and suddenly the shadows lunged. One swept dangerously close, wrapping around Jamie's leg. A cold dread invaded her, and a scream escaped her lips. Let her go? Emma yelled, her fury sparking. She felt the charm in her palm pulsate, as if responding to her outburst. The shadows hesitated, retreating a fraction and opening. Remember, the figure taunted, twisting the air with a cruel smile. What is sacrificed is often what you love the most. Alex rushed to Jamie's side, fighting against the clutch of the shadows, determination etched into every line of his face. We can beat this. We fought harder battles. Together. Emma shouted, igniting a spark of courage within her. She stepped forward, raising the charm. We won't back down. We won't lose ourselves to your games. The moment the charm glowed brighter, the shadows recoiled. The strange energy swirled, fusing their collective willpower. Fear began to morph into something stronger: hope. The figure's laughter twisted into a snarl. Fools. Hope without understanding the price is a poorly constructed trap. You will face your truth, and it will tear you apart. With a final thrust of power from the charm, the ground shook violently, light and dark clashing like thunder. Colors exploded, intertwining like ribbons unraveling from the heart of chaos. Strive for freedom, the woman in silver urged, floating above them with ethereal grace, her voice cutting through the chaos. But know this: every truth revealed requires payment. Will you pay your price? As the blinding light surrounded them, Emma felt weightless, suspended between choices. The dark figure melted back into the abyss, but its chilling laughter echoed in the recesses of their minds, a haunting reminder of the truths still buried. What would it cost them to uncover their true selves? Emma sensed the looming price and braced herself as the light flickered above, dancing on the edge of the unknown. Can we survive the truth? She whispered, a tremor of fear threading through her voice. But she had no answer, not yet. All she could do was step forward, knowing they were about to confront the ultimate price for their freedom, whatever that may be. The swirling light expanded around them, pulling each heartbeat into a rhythm of hope and despair. Emma could feel her friend's fear and determination mingling an electric pulse that surged through the air. Together, they shared a bond that felt unbreakable, yet she couldn't shake the gnawing dread of what lay ahead. We've faced so much already, Emma murmured, glancing at Jamie and Alex. We have to trust each other now more than ever. We cannot lose this fight. The charm pulsed fiercely in her palm, a reminder of the choice they had made. But the memory of the Heart's Keeper's words loomed large. Trust meant vulnerability, and that could lead to devastating sacrifices. Suddenly, the light transformed into a pathway, a brilliant column shining through the darkness, beckoning them forward. That's it, Jamie exclaimed, awe in her eyes. We just have to follow it. Pushing through the chaos, they stepped into the swirling light as the memories began to dissolve around them, replaced by images of their past painful moments, regrets, and joy, weaving a story that had shaped who they were. Together, Alex said, tightening his grip around Emma's hand. We can merge our fears into the light. Let us reclaim our power. The memories swirled, revealing Emma's childhood filled with her mother's laughter, the warmth of family, but also the hollow ache of loss the night her mother left, the shadows creeping into her heart. I let it haunt me, she realized, tears brimming. But it's time to face it. Mom wouldn't want me to live in fear. With a unified voice, they began to chant, pouring their hearts into the light. We are not our fears. We are not defined by loss. The air shimmered around them. The truth became a clarion call, strengthening their resolve. Suddenly, the shadows lunged once more, rippling like dark tides, but they faltered at the edge of the light. Emma felt the warmth of her friend's courage enveloping her as they pushed against the dark forces reaching for them. We are more than our shadows, she shouted. We choose to embrace our light instead of fear. The moment of clarity struck. Shadows twisted around the trio, weaving their strongest fears into forms they recognized: faces of guilt, sorrow, memories of missed opportunities. Each embodiment clawed at their resolve, but instead of succumbing, they leaned into it. Eyes wide, they faced the versions of themselves shaped by pain. Wealth of experience swirled in the air, shimmering light against darkness. Choose hope, Jamie cried, directing her focus inward as her own memories flooded back. She recalled every laughter shared, every late-night conversation that lit their friendship the counterweight to fear. We can rise above. Yes, Alex echoed, channeling his anxiety into determination, the remnants of his past transforming into a building flame. This ends now. No more letting fear dictate who we become. The light crescendoed, drawing strength from their connection. The figures surrounding them began to dissolve. In the heart of conflicting forces, they transformed pain into empowerment, and in that instant of unity, everything shifted. The shadows recoiled, losing their grip as bursts of laughter and tears illuminated the way as they stepped into the heart of the light. Each heartbeat resonated with hope, acceptance, and love for one another. The embodiment of their truest selves broke free from the darkness, the looming specter of unfulfilled fears scattered into nothingness. But just as they thought they had triumphed, a figure materialized before them. The Heart's Keeper's grotesque form rippled with fury. You think you can libate the darkness just like that? His malevolent voice slithered through the air, filled with disdain. You will pay the true cost of your freedom. No, Emma shouted, her heart pounding. We know the price, and we refuse to let it break us. The figures stood firm, a united front against the Keeper's darkness. You wield a false power, he hissed, a leering grin spreading across his face. You think you'll survive this truth? Tell me what you cherish most, and I shall. Seize it. Emma squared her shoulders, ready for whatever lay ahead. We cherish our connection. We will not let you tear us apart. A blinding light exploded from the charm, engulfing the Keeper, pulling away all the darkness that wrapped around it. the charred remnants of their fears scattered like ashes in the wind. "You cannot," the keeper howled, his voice finally drowning in bright echoes. As the brightness surged, the shadows faded completely. The keeper's figure shattered, gasping into obscurity. Emma staggered back as the pressure dissipated. The ground shifted, their surroundings transforming into a serene glade bathed in golden light, a stark contrast to the chaos before. All at once, the trio felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. They were free. Jamie turned to Emma and Alex, joy bubbling up in her chest. "We did it. We faced it together." Tears stung Emma's eyes as she embraced her friends. "We went through hell and back, but we made it." As they stood together in the tranquil grove, the remnants of darkness lingering like a bad dream, she could finally breathe. This connection had shielded them from despair, forging an avenue of light that would serve them beyond this moment. "Thank you for helping me understand," Emma whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "I know I'll carry this truth with me." In each other's eyes, they found the reassurance of everything they had endured. They were changed, wiser and stronger, united by the shared understanding of light and shadow. As they took their first steps toward freedom and the dawn of new beginnings, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was not just the end, but a beautiful, brave continuation. And deep in the heart of Oakwood Grove, the whispers softened, cradling the remnants of its dark past, finally allowing the light to seep through. Still, a flicker of magic shimmered in the breeze, an unfinished story woven with threads of countless experiences waiting to be explored anew. Now, armed with the strength of their friendship and an unyielding spirit, Emma felt ready to embrace any new challenge that lay ahead. But they would remember this night, the choices made, the truths faced. It was a farewell to the darkness that had haunted them for too long. They stepped forward into a new dawn. And just as the light broke, Emma's heart quickened with possibility. You need to subscribe now so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm and support the channel. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about the ending. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion.